Hello, my friend, my YouTube friend. Welcome to Simply Draw. I'm Elaine, and today I would like you and I to draw this Magnolia Warbler. So get a pen that works and a scrap piece of paper, and we will begin. So just while you're getting yourself comfortable and organized, I want to try something a little different today. I was thinking about actually completing each piece of the bird as I go along. So this is a completely new approach. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but what I was thinking is that normally when I sketch the outline of the bird, it takes very little for me to get all screwed up on things like how long do I go along the back, because I try really hard just to duplicate the angle and duplicate the length of each particular portion, but no matter how hard I try, it gets all buggered up. So yeah, last night I was thinking, oh, maybe this approach of just completing each section of the bird as we go along will work. And if it doesn't, it doesn't matter. We are not wasting time because we are simply drawing. So, okay, I'm going to stop nattering. I'm sure you're ready by now. Comfortable, pen that works, scrap piece of paper, and let's go. So with my new method then, I'm going to start here at the face and just do that slight angle for his forehead, the top of the head, and curving to his back. Now, in the reference photo, the front of the face and the back of the head are almost on the same line. Oh, see? Man, you guys, already screwed up. Now, let's go back and do the throat. So the throat curves, not quite straight down, a little bit in. Oh man, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's just stop there. Run around and say to everybody, look at our Magnolia Warbler. Okay, now we're doing the bill. Okay, let's go back to the reference. From the front of the face, it goes that angle there. This should be up more. And then down and in like that. I don't know if this is going to work, you guys, but it's just worth a shot, because if we change our method and it helps correct some of the errors with the proportions, then it's a win. And you can zoom in if you're watching this with your cell phone or whatever. I don't know if it works on your computer, but you can zoom in and goodness me, don't watch what I'm doing. Look at the reference and do your best to follow along with this new method, new to me, that I want to try. Let's do the shading under the throat and under the bill. top of the bill, the front of the face, and let's put in his eye. Now it's kind of, do the eye right in the middle where the top of the head is. I put yours right there. And fill it in. And just be sure to leave a white crescent off to the side where the light has caught the curve of the eyeball. And then with your pen, I want you to leave, see how he's kind of got a ring almost all the way around his eye. So put in a border with your pen around that section as a reminder to not shade that in. See, so what I want to do is just focus on completing each section. Oh, geez, you guys, look, that's the problem with tilting my paper. This mark behind the eye, this dark mark goes more like that. So now let's just shade in the head. And there's this yellow patch just sort of under his cheek, so just go really like light there. And then darker where there's more shadow. And I don't want to move on to another part of him until we're happy with what we've done with his face. So let's just fix up the shading. On the side of the bill, down on his cheek. Stay away from that white patch by his eye. This goes down. And then this is all kind of gray. Now let's finish around his eye, because this white band isn't like, it's not a perfect circle. So just take your pen and go in a little bit around the front of the eye and just a few little darker creases in. I mean, I know his eyeball isn't a perfect circle, but it could be, mine could be cleaned up a little bit more. Kind of has a large eye so that he can catch all the little bugs. A little bit darker on the forehead. And then do a slightly heavier shading on this part behind the eye. This I've made too heavy. I've screwed this up. I hope yours is like a little bit better, or a lot better. Okay, that's what I want to do. Now, let's carry this line from the back of his head. And what we're going to do is just do this one little curve for his back. That's all we're doing right now. Now, look at the reference. This little curve, this lighter shade at the back of his neck is about, less than half of his head. So I'm doing mine this length, about the same as that length. And we're stopping there. Now let's just shade this part in. It's kind of light and it's at an angle, because this little section of feathers is kind of a lighter gray and it comes down into his shoulder. And go down here. So we've got the darker part at the side of his eye. I'm contorting myself in my chair so that I hopefully don't hit the camera. This light patch of yellow under his cheek is too big on mine. I'm changing this angle a little bit, making it a little bit darker here. Okay, so all of this is just very slight changes in tone with the shading. Now while we're doing this, let's go back to his throat and take the throat down a little bit more into his chest. Not too far though. We're only doing sections at a time. Okay, so let's get the shading in here. I'm nervous, you guys. I don't know if this is going to work or not. But as I say, it was just an idea to like, maybe this method is really going to help me do a better job on my proportions. Okay, now let's go back to his back. And what we're doing next is this. Oh, wait. Okay, so we did that one. Now let's do this section here. Okay. See in the reference? So we want another very slight little bump along his back. And we're going to shade this in. It's a V. And we're going to stay to the left of this wing bar. So we're going to shade this in. A little heavier than what we did before. And we're shading in this part. We're going to bring it in at an angle, and we're staying to the left of those white wing bars. And we're going to go straight into his shoulder where it's nice and dark. Now, so that we don't get screwed up, let's put in those white wing bars. There's probably only 2, but I'm going to just like do that. Wait, well, hang on. Take your time. Okay, we're going to do that one, and this one kind of like all blends together. And then that one's small. And then we've got a super dark on the shoulder. Okay, so this We just want to darken up right here on his shoulder. And then we're just doing this part here. And this, and we're doing this just a little bit lighter. And we're doing this, and we are going out to his back. Okay, now here on his shoulder, it's nice and dark. It's got a little bit that's white there. This is nice and dark. Okay, let's take him down again. Oh, forget the branch, you guys. We're not doing a branch through our birdie. We're taking creative license and putting the branch elsewhere in our drawing. Lighten up on the shading when you get down to his tummy because there's a little bit more reflected light. And we're dark through the shoulder. If this works, I'm gonna be stunned. All right, now what? Okay, okay, so now, let's not get screwed up. We've done this section. Now we're gonna go here and see all these white feather tips. This is what we're gonna do next. We're gonna stop before the shoulder. So in your drawing, let's just put in all these white scoops for these feather tips. Let's like take them back. And then we want to do some heavy. Okay, first of all, it's a little bit gray. Zoom in on the reference, okay? Try to ignore what I'm doing. And then I want you to do dark where these feathers are folded. Oh, it's so easy for me to get all screwed up with where I am with these. But anyway, if the white wing bars are too big, we can always like take them back later. Okay. Now I want to do, okay, so this is the end of the, and look, it's nice and dark underneath because we're still working on the shoulder and where the wing is folded against the body here. So let's get that nice and dark. And then there's shadow underneath because this dark here looks like it's one of the feathers. And then let's do like this shadow on his body. Okay, take him down. We're beginning to get into like light patches where the I guess the sun or whatever is beginning to catch his body, but we're going to do this shading here. So how about actually all of this, maybe we should just do light because we can darken it up later when we have to. Okay, so for his tummy, let's check our angle. Be nice if I could look at my picture straight. This has to come down more. A bit like that. He's pretty fat. And where are we with the wing bars? Okay, so with this set of wing bars here, where do we go? The bottom of his tummy is basically this part of the wing bar. So we want to level out about here. My God, you guys, if this works, it'll be amazing. Try not to get excited right now. What do we want to do? Let's just like shade them in here. We're getting close to the leg. we're gonna do all these shaded ruffled feathers later. He switches from yellow to white. Yes, we're gonna color the white, but not right now. So now let's go back up and do the next section of the wing. So we've got these sets, these folded feathers here. So it's kind of like a curve, and this ends where? Okay, this set of folded feathers it looks like it's above the eye. I don't want to be messing around getting the ruler. I mean, this video is going to be long enough as it is. So just do a slight curve with these feathers and get this little fold in there like that. Okay? Done. Let's do our lines with all these folded feathers here. Some are darker, and let's just do a little bit of a gray. And then the black, where these feathers are folded on top of each other. And there's shadow. The black is the shadow underneath the feathers. Oh, jeepers. Okay, let's finish his wing, because I'm too nervous to do all this part down here. So let's just bump this out a little bit. This is a layer of feathers. This is a layer of feather. This actually is one feather, I think, that's twisted and caught, so it's dark underneath. Okay, so let's do one little bump, not too big, kind of little bump, and then that last feather. Oh man, this looks like it's off by a lot, but I'm not gonna panic. Now, let's go back to the shoulder and take this up. See how this is the edge of the feather that goes to the top and then curves around. It's actually like super cool, the angle of this photo. We're taking it up to the top. Like that, and curve around. And then this feather goes like underneath the wing. Okay, so shade in the end of that wing feather. Let's do our lines for the folded feathers. And let's do our black. For some of them, and then let's just like shade in the rest of the wing because it's like kind of gray. I don't know if this is gonna work, you guys, but it's totally worth trying. You know what I mean? Like this angle has to change. Cause like you don't know if you don't give it a shot. Okay. Okay. No need for panic. Now, okay, let's just. Okay, my wingtips are too big, so we can just like take these in a little bit. You do the same if yours are too big. It's nice. All right, now let's go to, I want to do this, oh, let's put the light on. The sunlight faded. Okay, let's do the shading under the wing. Let's do a little bit of shading under the wing, blah, blah, blah. Now, this shadow right here, this is important because the wing is shading his round little body, and this shadow right here shows that he's got a round little body. So do that from under the wing. There's some shadow that's going on the tail feathers, and then it curves this way. Okay, now let's finish his, let's go down here and do his tummy. So remember this, we're kind of at the level here of his tummy underneath those white wing bars. Now what we want to do is angle up to his bum feathers. So let's aim for, I think my shading's like way too deep. Make it a broken line because he's fuzzy little birdie with all his little bum feathers on his tummy, and we're going up. It's this wing, and that's his tail. Oh, I know what we could do. Let's work on his tail, okay? So from this little notch of his folded wing feathers right next to it, we're going to do a shallow angle out for his tail. Not too steep. And this is cool because the tail is twisted. It has a twist. So this line here is feathers on the top. This line here is the side of the tail that's like kind of curved. Take that line out to the edge and don't go too far. Now let's go back to his bum feathers that go up and they stop like here, and then we've got the flare of his tail that goes like this. And we can put in these distinctive white feathers underneath his tail. Part way along, it's above the folded wings. So let's just put that white feather in. There's a line, just a break where that tail feather goes out, and underneath it there's another white marking feather, and then there's white feathers there. Whew. Okay, let's do some light shading on his tail because it's kind of like gray and it's black underneath. Kind of ragged tail feathers. And there's a lighter border on the outside feather, so just don't take the shading right to the edge. And the tail does have like a slight flare to it. Okay, right now I can't tell if it should be longer or not, but I just want to leave it like that. And I want to work on the legs. I don't know, it's not, okay, I don't want to get ahead. Let's do this, you guys. His other wing. So it's kind of like right by his bum feathers. It doesn't go out as far as this one. Draw in your little shark tooth. Well, that's kind of far down. Is that too far down? I don't know. And should it be out more? Better not. I'm just going to leave it like this. Color that in. And then a jagged edge because all his little fluffy bum feathers are kind of like breaking the line between that and this wing at the back. Wow, okay. All right, now, okay, we're totally making progress. Okay, let's put in, this is too fat. You know, this isn't curved properly. Okay, well, whatever. Now, let's do this leg that we're kind of seeing come very faint past these bum feathers and almost like straight down. Go narrow with the leg, the joint of the foot. Oh, see his tummy stops. His tummy stops almost at the joint of his foot. Here, this is where I want to put the joint, and we're going to go this way and down, and then we've got a nail coming up and around this way, and we've got toes under the branch and a large nail going this way. And this can just be kind of like color in his leg and do some darker shading with some light patches. It's all a confusing mess of nails and toes and stuff like that. So I got the branch going through the foot. And just shade in your branch and oh, jeepers creepers. That's not really how I wanted the nail to look, but anyway, the branch goes through here. Okay, just creating more stress for myself. This kind of comes out. Okay. Gosh, okay, now let's do the other one. You're probably way ahead of me. Okay, so this joint right here is located below this back wing. Go below, so it go wherever the back wing is, which mine is like too fat, I think, and this joint is below. I'll put it like right about here. And then we want a nice sharp angle on this leg. Let's do a nice sharp angle. And his foot shows just below his tummy. So we want a nice sharp angle, and then we're going to stop, and that's where we're going to put his foot. And this is a nice sharp angle. And just shade in the joint and the leg. Keep it super narrow. You can make it fatter later. And then this joint is also just a confusing mess of toes and nails. You know, I see artwork that is really large pieces, and I think, oh my goodness, how can they do such a large piece? And then when you're messing around trying to do this kind of work, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my God, it would be so much easier if we were doing a piece that was like, you know, 2 foot by 3. Because then you can actually see what you're doing. Okay, we're not putting our branch through our birdie, so just put it off to the side. And then make it a little bit darker on the bottom. Through the foot. I don't really like the way this has gone at all, but anyway, we need some darker and lighter, and the branch and the nails colored. Yes, this is a delay tactic, spending all my time coloring the branch. Okay, but like, you know what? Man, I don't think he looks that bad. Okay, now what we're doing is we're gonna very carefully shade. We're gonna take the yellow back to our curve. This is easy for me this way. Take the yellow back to the curve. Where does he stop? Okay, then go back, take the yellow to his leg. And take the yellow under his tummy. The yellow with our blue pen. Okay, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna like bump up the shading under the wing. And I wanna put in these darker patches which show the ruffled feathers of his body. Oh man, doesn't look anything like that. Do some shading around the leg joint, because in looking at a bunch of different pictures, I've noticed that the feathers are usually like layered and dark, you know, around where the leg comes out of the body. Okay. It's too bad that I screwed all this up here. Well, let's just go. Okay, but you know what? Like, he's done, right? So just take a minute, go back and bump up the shading where he is, you know, dark on the chest, under the throat. I want to make his shoulder a little bit darker here. Where the wing is folded into the body, and this is a little bit darker, and it's stuff. So since I'm really enjoying your company, you're not allowed to leave, and we're just both gonna take a couple of minutes to darken him up where he needs to be having a few more contours. I kind of feel like I've not properly got this patch. This, on mine, this gray patch I've made too big, so I'm just like bringing this forward a little bit. So it blends into his back. Boy, who'd have thought that such a cute little birdie would be so difficult to draw. Give us a good challenge. Good run for our money. Well, that's what it's all about. Okay, am I just messing around? Well, don't answer that. Okay, you know, do you guys have this nice heavy black on his wing? Because I sure don't. I'll just put a little bit in here. And more on his wing bars. Okay, so if, like for you, I don't know, has this been kind of an easier way to approach it? Oh no, come on. Who's that? Oh no, not picking that up. I do not have any clothes to donate right now. Okay, and then this shading, I feel like I haven't got properly. It really doesn't really show his cute little rounded body here. Boy, oh boy. Well, let's make this darker. Anything to help. Okay, now I'm just kind of like messing around. All right, let's stop here. And I don't know, I think it's like not, honestly, for me, it's not too bad. I'm really glad that we tried it this way, because I think with the proportions of the drawing, I feel like it's been a little better easier for me to execute than it would have in the past. I don't know. Whatever we do, we're practicing and it all helps, right? So on that note, have a fantastic day, you guys. Thanks so much for keeping me company. We'll see you next time.